Alia Sometimes Hides Her Feelings in Russian Season 2 just got delayed an entire year, but fans should be happy about it. They claim to have delayed the season to improve quality, and with what they're adapting, it seems necessary. Unfortunately, we know next to nothing regarding the next season, and have only gotten a few key visuals of the student council in their summer uniforms. Thanks to this, we know Season 2 will cover both the summer vacation and the school festival arc, and that has more than enough content for 12 episodes. These two arcs are arguably some of the best in the series, so they can't screw this up. Both arcs include huge lore drops and reveals that are relevant for the rest of the story, so they have to be extremely careful with what they cut. Luckily, it hasn't been confirmed whether the season will have 12 episodes like Season 1 or more, but more information is going to be revealed at an event on March 29th, but we aren't going to be left with nothing for another year as they're launching a 2026 project to make up for the delay. We have no information on what it is so far, but at least there's something to look forward to. Anyways, quality should be a priority, and in the meantime, the novels are always an option.
Why doesn't Senku soak himself in revival fluid to prevent petrification in Dr. Stone? During the second global petrification, Senku could have set up a secret bath of revival fluid he could run to immediately get unpetrified after the light hit him, but there are three main reasons he didn't. First is the issue of actually finding a place to put the bath that is easily accessible and also hidden from Stanley. There were several grenades thrown at their base, as well as the soldiers destroying everything they could see. Finding a place that wouldn't be destroyed by Stanley while also giving Senku an opportunity to get to it quickly once the Medusa goes off would be unlikely, but it's not the main reason Senku wouldn't soak himself in the fluid. There was also the threat of having all of their revival fluid in one place. The bath itself would most likely use up all of their remaining revival fluid, meaning Senku wouldn't have the option to throw revival fluid on someone or himself if the need called for it, and it would make it inconvenient for them if they finally made a working Medusa battery, and the person who tested it got petrified and had to be carried to the bath. But this issue pales in comparison to the main reason Senku didn't try to make a revival fluid bath. The main reason is due to what is actually inside the revival fluid. Nitric acid can give the body severe burns if in contact for too long, and inhaling a lot of it is also dangerous. Gojo get paid for making all of Marin's outfits in My Dress Up Darling? Gojo spends hours of his time making Marin's cosplays, but he's never seen getting paid for the work he puts in. The cosplays themselves are also expensive, as the raw materials cost a ton, and Gojo never cuts costs when choosing the materials because he wants to make the perfect cosplay. There's also the studios they rent out. Luckily, Marine pays for that, the materials, and she even treats him to food from time to time. But there is also the value of the labor, tools, transportation, and even the props he makes. When Gojo made Shinju's cosplay, Juju knew that her sister couldn't cover all those costs after the materials, and knowing how important they were, she paid for them herself, even when she didn't have to. For Gojo, he already has most of the tools he needs thanks to the Hina doll shop, and he most likely pays for his transportation by himself due to the fact that he's not traveling with Marin all the time. Fortunately, the materials for the props would also probably be covered alongside the materials with the cosplay by Marin, leaving the cost of labor. Gojo could argue that spending time with Marin is more than enough payment, and that it doesn't matter because he enjoys making cosplays so much. But the answer to him being paid can be found in the manga. During a conversation, it is revealed that Marin actually overpays. Did you know that in Re:Zero, Reinhard has had a very tragic past? 2 years after Reinhard was born, his mom would get a condition that would put her in a coma-like state. Due to her condition, Reinhard's father, Heinkel, would become desperate in searching for a cure. However, despite his efforts, he was unable to find one. As a result, Heinkel would fall into a deep depression and would slowly start to ignore Reinhard. A few years later, Heinkel would be tasked with going to fight the white whale, but he ultimately refused to go. And it would force his mom, who is also Wilhelm's wife, and at the time, the current sword saint, Theresa, to go fight the whale in his place. During the battle, Theresa would lose the divine protection of the sword saint, as it would be transferred to Reinhard, and that would cause her to lose the battle and be unalived. Due to the divine protection being transferred and causing the loss of Theresa, both Wilhelm and Heinkel would blame Reinhard for Theresa's passing, even though he had no control over it, and as a result, Reinhard would be hated by his very own family. Alia sometimes hides her feelings in Russian. Do you know the real reason behind why Kuze can't tell anyone that he and Yuki are siblings? While most of the reason is because Kuze left the Suo house and instead went to live with his father, Kuze and Yuki are not hiding it by choice. Rather, the head of the Suo household forced Yuki and Kuze not to mention that Kuze was ever part of the Suo household, or the fact that they are biologically related. This was because Kuze was born with exceptional talent and was a promising heir to the Suo family. But instead of living up to those expectations, he decided to abandon the Suo family to go live with his dad. This made the head of the Suo family furious, and he decided that Kuze was a disgrace and shouldn't have any connection to the family name. He would refuse to treat Kuze like family, and would force both Yuki and Kuze into hiding the fact that they were siblings. Did you know that in Re:Zero, Otto's divine protection ended up severely hurting Subaru once? Since birth, Otto has had the divine protection of the soul language. This divine protection gives Otto the ability to talk to other creatures and animals, and it also gives him the ability to hear and understand what they are saying. However, when he was younger, Otto was unable to understand what the animals were actually saying, so instead, he would hear incomprehensible chattering in his head. Over time, he slowly learned what the animals were saying and came to understand their language, giving him the ability to effectively communicate with them. On top of animals, mob beasts were also included in Otto's divine protection, allowing him to hear and understand what they are saying as well. However, due to the white whale being a mob beast, Otto was able to hear its voice in his head. Because of this, during Subaru's loop, where the white whale was following the two of them in Otto's carriage, the voice of the white whale drove Otto crazy, and because of that, and his knowledge that the whale was chasing Subaru, he decided to throw Subaru off of the carriage and sacrifice him. Did you know that in Re:Zero, Subaru was able to defeat Orsted? After him and Rudius revealed to Orsted that they knew the man god, and Subaru confirmed that Orsted had the magic item he needed. Orsted instantly unalived them. However, despite being in a new world, Subaru's return by death still worked, and he woke up before he would initially meet Rudius. To prevent them being unalived again, Subaru would recruit an emperor of the North God style, Albert, to help them unalive Orsted. Subaru would then meet Rudius again, and this time they set out to battle Orsted. However, despite having Albert with them, they were unable to defeat Orsted, and he unalived them all. Subaru would go through several loops and try various different things, like getting dragons to attack him, attacking from different distances, and more, but nothing worked. After trying everything, Subaru decided to just ask Orsted nicely for it. They told Orsted it was a magic item Subaru's mom dropped in the Asura Kingdom, and there was a rumor around the Adventurers Guild that Orsted had it, and they would be extremely grateful to get it back. To their surprise, Orsted actually gave them the magic item, and Rudius would help Subaru use it to send him back to his world. Did you know that in Mushoku Tensei, Luke and Sylphie are decked out in a ton of magical items despite wearing the normal school uniform most of the time? They both actually wear a ton of magical accessories that grant them lots of different effects. Overall, Luke and Sylphie wear 3 of the same magic items, but Sylphie also has 2 more items on top of everything else. The items they both wear consist of special boots that greatly increase the speed of whoever's wearing them, gloves that reduce the impact taken to the user's hands by half, and a cloak that regulates the user's body temperature no matter the condition they are in. Both of them also wear special gear under their uniforms that are made of materials resistant to blades. And for the extra items that only Sylphie has, she has 2. The first is the sunglasses she wears, and they are able to alert Sylphie of if a princess is in a state of crisis at any given time. Her second item is an illusionary ring that allows her to change appearance into whoever is wearing the ring's other pair. Did you know that in Mushoku Tensei, the timeline shown in the story isn't the original one? 2 years after Paul passed, the man god visited Rudius asking for a favor. The favor was for Rudius to check his basement, and because the man god seemed to have given Rudius good advice on his journey so far, he decided he would do the one thing the man god asked him in return. Right as he was about to leave to go to the basement, a voice stopped him. Rudius turned around to see an old man he'd never seen before, and when asked who he was, the man replied with Rudius's name from his past life. The man would go on to reveal how he was actually Rudius from the future, and how him fulfilling the man god's favor led to the destruction of his life. He mentions that opening the door to his basement would let out a rat, and that rat would cause the deaths of Roxy, Sylphie, Cliff, Zenoba, Eris, Ariel, and more. He explains to Rudius that he invented time travel magic to come all the way back to prevent Rudius from experiencing that same fate. He adds that his true enemy is the man-god, who is actively trying to prevent Rudius from having a family, and that he should listen to 3 pieces of advice. Those were: consult with Nanahoshi, send a letter to Eris, and doubt the man-god but do not oppose him. Did you know that an Alia sometimes hides her feelings in Russian? Alia tried to recreate the moment where Kuze put her sock on. When Alia asked Kuze to put her sock on, and he unexpectedly followed through, Alia became flustered and started experiencing feelings that she had never experienced with any other person before. When she was at home with Masha, Masha was talking about how, when you're with someone you have feelings for, you could get flustered or embarrassed by just making contact with them. This gave Alia flashbacks to when Kuze put her sock on and she got flustered. This prompted Alia to ask Masha if she could put her sock on her foot, as she was trying to see if she would feel the same feeling she felt when Kuze put her sock on. But in the end, she couldn't. Embarrassed, Alia would kick Masha out of her room, and she would think about what Masha said before, wondering if she really did have feelings for Kuze.